oh my God, everything online was, it was, my husband died in the middle of it too, right?
What if the chapter you most fear becomes the chapter that is the most freeing? What if becoming an empty nester isn't the end, but the beginning of something wonderful? What if the dreams you've carried are still possible and the life you're meant to live is still unfolding?
This is the Reinvention Stories After 40 podcast,
where women find the courage to rise, rebuild, and reinvent life on their terms. And now, here's your host, Lorna Blake.
Welcome to the show. My very special guest today is a woman who spent decades helping transform people's lives through yoga, personal development, and self-growth. As a Jamaican-American yoga master, mother, and mentor, she has inspired countless people in many countries to embrace change and step into their potential. But when her own children recently became adults and left home, she had a decision to make. And so at 54, she went back to college, became a published author, and opened the door to a whole new world of possibilities. Her story is a powerful reminder that reinvention does not have an expiration date. She is also somebody that I've known for about 16 years, and I am so excited to share her with you. Subhadra, thanks so much for taking time out of your busy schedule in Jamaica to be here. I am so
Yes.
happy to have you.
Thank you. Thank you. And I am excited to be here. Actually, I'm realizing that coming full circle, you say 16 years, I'm going, wow, where did that time seems longer than when the numbers and we're in my head, but time is not waiting for us.
Truth.
Hence reinventing ourselves is so essential so that we can, when we do leave this planet, at least this is for me, when we leave this planet, we should feel like, oh, I lived such an amazing life. I had magnificent times. I've left some great footprints. That's important to me. Yeah,
I
some
love
nice
that.
footprints. Yeah.
I
And
love where you're going with that. I
yeah,
want to
yeah.
start where you and I met. We probably met around 2010, and I want to start there. At that time, you were the yoga master. You were fully into that. And so I want to know, how has yoga shaped your life?
That's a funny one.
Yeah.
Because yoga has become my life.
Mm,
Yoga is not what we're thinking first in our first, at least when I heard about yoga, I thought it was a yogurt. I literally thought the person was saying yogurt. I had no concept of yoga. So I was actually very virgin to it. What it has become in my life has given me permission to live a life where a pathway has been woven in front of me, where I can follow these principles. And when these principles came in my life, I realized my life was in my hands. I can literally create the life I was living versus before yoga. It felt like life was really happening to me. It felt like it was being thrown upon me and I couldn't control. Even though I was powerful, I knew I had a strength, but it felt like I was fighting and struggling and everything was hard and life didn't feel certain. It felt just wild and chaotic. In that case, yoga brought me direction, focus, purpose, this wild, ferocious energy, because it felt like, I mean, it really
Well,
did. This energy was
you're a
there.
Leo after all, so
I am a
yeah,
Leo. So
right?
that makes
So
sense.
it's allowed you to to
It,
to
it,
to contain, to be more
yes, and
contained,
channel
and
that
instead of
energy.
reacting, you are responding to
Correct.
life. And life
Correct.
situations.
And even beyond responding to it, I felt like no, as time progressed, by the way, this didn't come overnight. I don't want to make people feel you're going to jump in a yoga class and all of a sudden your life is going to be fully figured out. There's no such thing, by the
Truth.
way. No such thing. So true to my experience and others that I've spoken to and just in general learned from, I've learned that life is in itself the learning. That's what you're going through. You're learning as you go through. So it doesn't fixes the problem. What yoga does, it brings you to clarity within who you are, purpose of why you're here, how you can approach the external noise. That's what I call it. I feel like
Yeah.
it's just a bunch of turbulences. How can we tread forward in it without becoming it? You're not the
Yes.
chaos. You're not the noise. You're not the anger. You're not any of the emotions, really. They're waves passing through you. I think these are the things that it gave me my life, which was I can organize it. I call it, I flick my wrist. I write my own story. Now I feel like I'm writing that story. That's what it's brought me. Joy, peace,
I
truth.
love that.
It
Love it.
licked me with the truth, living authentically. Because I'm a
Yeah.
little nutty. I'm not the average person at all. I can't fit in an average setting.
I
I'm,
know
I'm, I'm,
that.
I'm full of vibes. I'm not the typical yoga teacher.
No,
Do not come and expect that because
you're not
that's
the
going to be very
typical
shocking.
yoga master, which the typical
Master.
yoga
I'll take it.
master is either Caucasian, American, or from India, and here you are a Jamaican-American yoga master. So hats off to you. You don't even
I've
know
never
how much
thought of
respect I have for
that.
that.
That's so funny how as you say that, I never even think of that. But
But that's
yes,
something that stuck with
that
me when
within
I met you.
itself, right? And that within itself can tell you the origin is different. So therefore the makeup is going to be different.
Yeah.
The expressions are going to be different. Not many yoga teachers probably is going to say a bombo clot in the middle of a class, but it will come out to me. I'm gonna bump clot. No, don't worry about it. Straighten your elbows. you know, I don't really try to master a yoga voice. My authentic voice is my
You can't
voice.
help
And
your fire. Your fire
yeah,
has to come
my
out.
room, yes, my room, when I get in my room, I'm so grateful to be there. I'm trying to make sure everybody can get I can see you see me authentically. I don't have the time to put on the air. I don't know how to do it. I
I
think I
know.
make a
So, Miss Yoga Master, your
yoga
kids
master.
have grown up really quickly. I can't even believe that everybody is out your house. So, what was it like for you when your last one left home?
Mine didn't go in that kind of chronological order. Now, like I said, I live a very colorful life. So
Yeah.
my last child left home from she was 13.
Oh,
She
whoa.
wanted to go abroad for school, Australia to be.
Really?
Yes. She wanted to go to Australia, and we knew no one in Australia. I didn't understand where this was coming from, so I disagree, and I said, "I'm so far, sorry, it's too far." I at 13, I just could not agree to it. It just felt far. So I said, "Let's strike a compromise." And we're families already there. I know you're great. And she said New York. So we ended up going for New York. So she left home at 13,
Wow.
but right into my sister's home. And we made sure we made her choose a school. She chose a Catholic private school. Don't ask why. I
That's
spoke,
okay.
learned
They're
some
some of the
Mandarin.
best.
Maybe so. But in other words, they were making their own choices.
Yeah.
I brought them up that way. So when she chose that school, I thought, wow, you could literally roll out of my sister's house and roll in. She says, exactly, mother. That's why it is in the right proximity of home. I don't have the stress of travel. And so she was thinking strategically. So you can see the kind of mindset. And so she left home and went to my sister and navigated her 4 years in New York, finished high school, then returned back to California where home was.
Right.
Unfortunately for me, she wasn't coming back in the house.
Yeah.
She went off to college
Oh,
because there was no coming back to mama and living that. She went
ah.
into yeah, so
Well,
she
yeah,
went
because you were
from
always traveling. So you were between Jamaica and Africa and California. There was a lot of travel going on.
correct, correct. And also because she was also an independent kind of young woman. She was the last of four. She's named Kali Lakshmi. Be careful what you name your children. Sorry, they're gonna pick on some of those, characteristics. So she was powerful, strong, going through everyday teenager stuff, but
Yeah.
there was a serious knowing of what she wants at that time, and wanting to make sure it was known to us that she was making those decisions.
Wow.
So when she got back to California, she went back straight to Cal State, Fullerton. And so she moved into dorm in Orange County.
Oh, wow.
So she never came back home. So that's what I'm trying to get across to. There was
Gotcha.
that process of me learning that my last person leaving
Youngest
the
one
nest
is
was already
super
gone.
independent.
Super, 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 super.
Super
But
independent.
coming back, funnily though, now at 21, it's coming
She's
back to where
21 already.
she is 21.
That's
So now
crazy.
at 21, she's finding herself wanting to be coming to
Closer.
where I am now and want to spend some more time. So I guess it's according to their own rhythm of our
Yeah.
date process.
Yeah.
So
But the
yeah.
beauty of it is you're a mom who she can come and spend time and enjoy
Oh
being
yeah.
around you. And you've done that for the older one, so she will no doubt be the same. Now, I want to talk on the question of moms. Many women have so fully identified with the role of mother that when the children come of age, they have a really, really hard time with it. What was your own experience? Did you go through any of that? What did you discover about yourself in the process?
I can't tell you that I was too crazy when my nest got empty because, as you can hear so far, is that I was already prepared for it. It does not lessen the internal feeling of, oh my God, this cutting off the energetic or physical attachment to the energetic cord because the energetic cord remains.
Yeah.
But I felt that detachment of the quietness of the fact that they are not in the house, the memories, always remembering when they were little. I still do it. But my kids and I have a very special bond in the sense that most people say your kids call you every day almost. And I'm like, yeah, I mean, regardless of how difficulty comes, how I would find a way to find that silver lining and I glide through. In the toughest of situation, I'm
That's
gliding through.
that's
That is
what
a
I love
big,
about you. And
that's a
yeah,
big plus,
no
right?
matter how long I don't talk to you, you're one of these people who just come to mind, and I
Thank
just
you.
know you're gliding through and
Yeah, man,
living
you have
life
to.
to the fullest. I love
You
it.
have to, you have to, because it's such a gift, this life, that
Yeah.
every morning I wake up, me personally, I have to feel a sense of like life force running through me. If I don't feel that, distractions are always going to come. I notice that,
Mhm.
especially when you're Zen,
Mhm.
distraction comes. But I think that's the opportunity to choose to be happy, joyful, whatever the state you want to find yourself in. My state is very important to me. And that maybe that's where my daughter got that. And that I know that I'm navigating that state, not the external forces coming in and shaking up my world. I'm not into that. And
Mm.
if it does, I'm quickly to wipe away those forces. I'm not going to let you stay around because
Mm.
I want to be in control of that world and stay close to God. That's my biggest thing. I focus on God, I glance at the world. So the world glances can become too much, or else it's overstimulation for me. It
Got it.
must be that God has to feel like the God essence is fully running through. Then now I can glance at the world because I'm
Mm.
inside. Yeah. Yeah.
I
But
love
back
that.
back to your question, by the way, because I don't think I fully answered your question.
Mm.
I did not go through it, I think, as most women did, because I set up my business, Yoga Angels International, since my kids were going to school. And that's inside their school that the business was being built.
Oh, is it?
So,
In
yeah,
California.
yeah. So with that said, I was going through all these from um, primary schools, what we call primary in Jamaica, but
Elementary.
these elementary schools in America, and just blasting out yoga programs throughout schools. So that's
So
happening
you
since I was
built your yoga angels around your children's schedule.
children.
That's cool.
Always, my
Oh,
business
wow.
must evolve, even now, even
Really?
now. Oh God, yes. So my business now in starting the YAI Wellness Oasis, which is where we are now, where I am now,
Yeah.
that's all around my children again.
Oh, wow.
Always. Yes. Because I know that if you're building a dynasty, you're not going to be here forever.
Yeah.
That's really your children, if you're blessed, who
Yeah.
would step in and begin to bring forth the next, carry the baton, the next leg. You know what I mean? And
Wow.
then hopefully it's their children after that.
So
So it was
you
always,
created your vision with Yoga Angels is that your children will inherit it and their children after them will.
always,
Wow.
always. So it was built on the back of my first daughter. And when I say that, I mean literally. She was,
Right.
before acro yoga was an acro yoga thing,
Uh-huh.
she was the girl who would literally have to go up in the air and balance on her hands while people are holding her. We didn't have the word acro yoga then, but that was what we were doing to show yoga to
Wow.
children and make it exciting, right? We beat
Wow.
drums, we did didgeridoo. Didgeridoo was an instrument children never saw. We're talking people, this is 30 something, 30, about almost 30 years ago. Because
Wow.
yeah,
Radha
the people
is
I'm talking
about
about,
30 something now.
yeah, it would be 34 years because my daughter was 8 and she's 36 this year.
What? That's
Yeah,
crazy. So you've
we've been
been
around
doing Yoga Angels 30 years?
from
Almost 30 years.
yes, yes. And it
Oh,
started with those children. We call
yeah.
them the OG yoga angels. I see
Wow.
some of them on IG, so we're in touch. I know what they're doing in their lives and how yoga has impacted that. It's fascinating journey. And my daughter being one of them too. So she was the pillar for it because she was the child who had to really go through the first set of young children that we were teaching.
Mm-hmm.
We started
Mm.
as a kids company, right?
A
That
kids
that was it.
company, got it.
Yeah,
So,
bringing yoga in schools and
so
all around Hollywood, private school, public school. And what I was doing is noting the difference, and there were not that many except money.
no, I would imagine. I
That
would
was it.
imagine.
Children was going through the same dilemmas, but one parent had a certain amount of economic status, another set of kids didn't. And then, of course, that trickles down to different things that would happen in the school system because of the lack of resources.
Yeah, totally understood. So I want to take you now to your children are now out of the home and you decided to return to school. What? Take me
Oh.
through that process.
Well, the funny thing is, I wouldn't like it to sound like it's my first time returning to school. I have tried to return to school a
Yeah.
few times.
Uh-huh.
The last time that I tried to go back to school was when my daughter was 1 years old. So that would be 20 years ago. And when I went back, I did go back and do business and some child development. And after that 20 years, I never went back to school. But when they left home now, I was like, I always wanted to do this degree. I'm going to do it. One day I'm at home and production came through. Don't ask me how, I can't remember, but I remember thinking, that's how you always wanted. People thought you should be an actress or this, but you always loved the production portion.
Wow.
And I was like, let me do a body talk on myself because I already signed up for that other school already. So
Yeah.
I took the moment, I laid down, I started doing my own body talk on myself. And I asked, and then I got to production, television, directing, producing, and my whole body was like, and I was like, oh my God. So I
What?
did it again. and my nerve endings start firing off. I called the other college. I said, please de-enroll me. I'm so sorry. I am not going to make it. Called up my other school, the same one I was going before. And I said, can I re-enroll? Go and visit the school. Did my own steps. And before you know it, I was back in the same college that I was in 1994. 95, sorry, 1 year off, 95. And I start again and I went back for the same major and I graduated June 8th. Yeah. Pick up yourself, Subhadra.
Oh my God, congratulations. You are something else. You
Yeah.
truly
So,
are
but,
spectacular.
but to tell you the truth, while I was doing the production, when I first went back, oh my God, everything online was it was my husband died in the middle of it too, right?
Oh my
So
gosh.
yeah, in the middle of
I am
that,
so
losing my
sorry,
husband,
Subhadra.
that's okay. It's okay, we go in
What
there
a,
too.
that reached me. Mm.
Yeah, man, that happened too. Yeah, that's our whole thing. Living in
It's
Africa,
another, it's for
that's
another.
another episode.
Oh
So
gosh.
point is, I had to go through this reinventing now. I'm now something they call a widow. I mean, I know that's still but I understand. Widow. And school is in now the second semester. So
Mm,
at least I had got the first semester, which was the roughest, because
mm.
everything was done differently. So now I'm in the second semester and my husband dead. Hmm? And I know that I don't know what that's like. I don't know what grieving is. I don't even know. I couldn't even fathom what that would be. But I knew one thing. You can stop now and say, oh, my husband said, or you can go. What are you going to do when life becomes difficult? Do you push through? Or do you just give up? And I was like, me, I give up in a good, better, best, never let it rest till the good is better and the better, best. And I run these mantras through my body, mind, and soul. I learned it. You must have learned that, Lorna.
Of
You didn't
course,
learn that?
this is why I'm laughing.
Yeah,
You're
man. Yeah.
just so full of fire.
You got to go back and reel it back, you have to go back to those things we did as children
I
because I
can't
think,
believe you. In the
but it's
midst
true.
of
I
this,
said, so
you're
that
just
been,
like, well,
listen. And so after that, now the second semester, I'm going, okay, I'm doing statistics. And oh, God, I made a wrong choice there. I really just didn't understand what the level of statistic was going to require of me. And with the husband just passed away, that class should never have been on my
yeah, I would have taken it off of my schedule.
right, but I didn't know. When
Oh,
you
you
don't know, you don't
didn't.
know. Right.
Oh,
And I'm not someone who knows how to quit. So halfway through it, I should have done a withdrawal, but I couldn't withdraw. I was like, I'm seeing this out to the end. Whatever happens, happen. I would have learned. So that's how I approach life. I
oh,
approach life about learning. If I'm learning something, the process is worth it. It's just worth it if I learn. So anyway, I got through the second semester and then I recognized it became progressively easier because I would have created pathways and structural guidance within my own application, how to be able to master being able to turn in my work on time, being
mm,
able, and then I'm a high achiever as well. I was not going under A or B. So how do I get to an A or B? Because, oh, I failed the statistics, right? This thing was unnerving to me. I was like, oh, you're that kind of student? Me get F? No. You could tell I was not okay with this.
yeah.
And I did my best. So that made me I was like, but you did your best and you never beat yourself up. So I drew back in and I was like, all right, no problem. I'll do another math. And I will choose much more conscientiously because I
Yeah,
had more knowledge of what was required in college and which one, so I
got
picked
it.
wisely after that. It was so
Wow.
fun. And though, of course, I'm crying in between, I could be doing my schoolwork, and then I would hear a little sound coming from my bed. And I'd be like, what is that? Who is that? It was me.
Oh gosh. I can't
Yeah.
imagine what you went through. I am so sorry
Yeah.
that
It was tough, man.
this
So I
was
went through
happening
that.
all at the same
Yeah.
time.
But
Life was
but that's the
challenging
thing
you, life
about
was
life,
testing you. Hmm?
right? But life don't come and say, Lorna,
I
you know
know.
what? I'm coming to you tomorrow with a very difficult task. You must prepare. No, it just
It
shows up.
just drops in your lap. Subhadra, you're just such a breath of fresh air in terms of how you navigate so many challenges and you're still standing. So you recently became a published author. Congratulations on that. And I want to ask you, what inspired you to finally share your amazing story with the world?
Wow. The inspiration was always there. The execution and give it, because I executed it before in 2010. I finished the book. I did not like it. I despised it. So did
Oh,
not like it as a lit. I had a bit of not understanding what this book was to be. And I thought, these are fabulous stories, but they're entertaining. And now what? It just did not sit well with me.
oh,
So I wished it away and it did disappear. Funnily enough, when I went back for it, the book was gone. And I was like, oh my God, I
what?
want the book back. Yeah, so I had to start from scratch again. But like I tell you, I have a resilient built-in machine in here that I cannot even in any way tell you that it was difficult to start again. I was just in Africa now in 2020, and I said, what a better place to do it than here. Let me go again and start the book again. And it was a new perspective.
Oh,
This
wow.
time I had this whole idea that I was going to make sure that the book will have something which I refer to in class a lot, medicine cabinet.
Huh.
I always say, what do you have in your medicine cabinet?
Hmm.
You have to look at that, right? And for me, mine is yoga and all the holistic things I've learned along the way.
Mhm.
So I wanted a medicine cabinet in the back of the book. When you go to the rear, you'll notice that there are all these meditation, visualization, yoga postures that I would have taken the time to correlate to the emotional breakdown that we would go through when we go through difficulties in life.
Wow.
So it took a lot. Let me just say, if I had to say anything I've ever done was difficult, I would say writing that book was. Not just the writing of the book, it's more like how my body had to revisit the stories and then my brain not separating the idea that this wasn't happening again.
True. I've experienced that as an author myself. You're so right.
Right? This was difficult. And then identifying yourself that that's what was happening. That was another part of it. Now, having to say, okay, I've never had high blood pressure. I gained high blood pressure during writing
Yeah.
that book. I had to run away, but I finished the book before I went and go get checked.
Oh, really?
What? And then I figured it out. I was like, Jesus,
It's a
because I'm
stress.
writing down a lot of trauma,
Yeah,
right?
you were reliving a lot of your stuff. That.
Whoa. And they are big ones. So then I got it and I was like, oh, now it's time to experiment. So I started doing my breathing technique specifically. I learned the symptoms because I didn't know what those were before.
Yeah.
And once I feel them in my body, I was like, oh, here we go. So I did meditation, I did pranayama, breath work. For those who may hear this and say, what is pranayama? Oh, that's breath work. And you can control that, baby. And you can learn many methods of breath work that can immediately, I'm not talking you have to wait, immediately put you in your body, balance your brain, and so I started drawing back for those, what's in your medicine cabinet.
Wow.
Usually we're speaking to ourselves, aren't we? So I went in, I pulled my medicine, and then I took pictures of when my blood pressure, after I took it, because I now got a blood pressure machine, something I did not have in my own before. And when I took it, I would take picture of that. Then I would do the practice, time how much practice I did, do the blood pressure again, and take a picture because I knew one day I'm going to put it in my book.
Yeah.
In the other book, because remember I'd already finished that book.
Wow.
So I just did that in research until I balanced out my blood pressure.
Amazing.
Oh God, yes.
Amazing. That
Yeah.
is truly
Yeah.
amazing. I know that there are a lot of
Because they'll
women,
put you on pills.
there are women
thing
who
is-
are listening who are going to be able to benefit from some of
Oh,
these things
yes.
that you're
Yes.
sharing. So I really appreciate it. Our time is quickly running out, Subhadra, and there's still so much to ask you. So I want to ask you, you're preparing to open your YAI Wellness Center, which is such an amazing accomplishment. Tell us about what this project means to you and congrats. I mean, you're flying. You're
What do you
flying.
think, baby?
See, dear?
What am I doing?
See,
Yeah, the
dear?
project.
Now fly and fly.
That's what the project means to me. Joy, a lot of joy. I've lived this project in my heart, head, and gut for a long time, very long time.
Wow.
And I was very careful in telling the universe that I would not open another yoga center. In the sense of in the city, I didn't want that anymore. But what I wanted was water. I wanted the ocean. I wanted the mountains. And I kept saying that to the universe. I don't know how, but the how is not mine. It's yours. So go do your job. Get your thing
Wow.
together, no matter. Get your thing together, now, all universe. And we get a little reasoning with the
You
universe.
have that relationship with God and the universe that you can just do that. Absolutely. I love
Yes,
it.
and I made my universe have vibes.
I
We
do that.
vibe.
I
Yes, and
challenge God
so
like that.
yes, and then what happened after that? I ended up on this property with the ocean. I don't know if you listen carefully, you can probably hear it, but this ocean is powerful.
What?
It's insane. Like you can't even swim in it unless you're a swimmer. It's that
Wow.
much the water. And then I have the salt pond. I don't know anywhere else in the world that these three meets. So we have an entire salt pond, three different ponds. So when I look out, I'm looking into the pond. And
Wow.
it builds mineral salt. We don't even call it salt, we call it minerals. I wish I could have grabbed one and show you what they look like. And even funnily enough, when I put a little piece of it under my tongue, you can feel your pressure release. Crazy, crazy,
What?
crazy stuff. Yes, and it produces pink salt. So that's the saltwater pond. And then the mountain is above that. And so I look straight into the mountain right across. Incredible view. Incredible view. And then in the back of me is this gush of water. So I'm circled by water.
That's amazing.
So that's it.
Paradise.
So what to do but to invite the world in? I was like, oh man.
So you
We are
just
calling.
you came to a place where you're just like, okay, I've got it all here. Let me
Yes.
just
And
invite the world.
I just moved in immediately. I did not wait. I did not
What?
wait. This was not something I was going to wait on. I gave up my place in Kingston immediately. I gave the man 28 days versus 30 because for the next calendar, it was going to be 28 days. I said, I apologize, but I did it as soon as I can because the place just showed up. And he
Yeah,
was great about that.
that's
And
awesome.
then, and then I moved there immediately in the mix of the construction. And I
Amazing.
stayed here, overlooked it, and now we are at then of course as when we got here, my neighbor, I had to mow down some of the property because it was, and then my neighbor opened up his property with some ocean view villas, beautiful. So I manage his and ours together. And
Amazing.
yeah, yeah.
That is just incredible. So what I want to ask you before we end, because we're coming down, but I want to know, you mentioned
Yeah.
something to me. You mentioned that there's a story behind using the word wise instead of old. Tell me a little bit
Oh,
about that. Because I feel like
this
for a lot of us as women, we need to hear that. So tell me that
okay.
in as brief
Credit
a
Miss.
way as possible.
I'm going to tell you to credit Grace Jones with this because I can't take the credit. It was
Grace
Grace who
Jones, look at
Grace
you.
Jones. Yes, it was Grace Jones who guided me to that. And she said something to me that stood out. One, people always told me, you kind of remind me of Grace Jones. I was like, what on earth would remind them of me and Grace Jones? But I've never met her at that time. So I
Yeah.
did not know what that meant. And when we met, shortly after I came back to Jamaica again, one of my visits, she said to me, I said to her, wow, as we're getting older. And she looked at me and she said, oh, no, darling, we don't use that word. And I said, we don't. Oh, I was massaging her hand. I was massaging her wrist. Because,
Oh,
if I get to me, I will grab me, me, I do massage or yoga. Just know it's something I'm going, right? So I'm massaging her wrist and she said, no, darling, we don't use that word. And she's quiet. She's a quieter woman, a force. And I said, we don't. She said, no, we use wise. She said, in the Bible, it has never been once, except in Old Testament. That's the only time you've ever seen that word old. The
wow.
word wise is always used. I said, well,
Amazing
I don't know
insight.
the Bible as much as you. She said, I said, I know that her father is a preacher. I know enough about her to know
Yeah.
that she was raised in the church. So she said, I said, I don't know the Bible, to be honest. I know enough, but not enough to go that deep. And she said,
Mm.
no, it's not there. It's only the word Old Testament. We were referred to as wise. So, darling, we're getting wiser, wiser.
I
She's so
love
delightful.
it. And I
She's
appreciate
so
you
I've
sharing
been,
it.
yeah, and I've been practicing since to not, and it's only when you start to practice you realize how much you use it.
True. It's true. Becoming more mindful. I I've had a couple of mentors who shared that point of view with me. And so a lot of times when people start talking about old, I'll usually tell them I'm not practicing that. I referred to myself as my age and I said I am this young because that's what I want to continue to experience in my life is more youthfulness and vitality. But the idea of being wise, I love it. That is
I
so
love the
important.
youthfulness too, because that's the thing about me. I don't resonate as a old woman. I
Truth.
know I have the grade them under the wig. Some know some me is grown. But I don't relate to old. What I can do
True.
with my body as alone can tell you that I'm not old. Okay, my body is.
Right?
I'm capable. I'm
That's
capable.
right.
Okay, and that's the yoga. Thanks to the yoga, right? We have to give thanks to the things that come and give us these
Yeah.
medicine to utilize. And I believe the youthfulness must come from that. So now, referring to herself as a baby. Let's use a baby. A baby come into the world today, we say, how old is he or she? And that's something Grace said to me. Again, I credit that back to her again.
Hmm.
She says, and she says, start from a baby. Why do we start conditioning this whole terminology and this child to think they're getting old? Where is
Agreed.
that coming from? Shouldn't we choose the origin of how we want to perceive in the world? And I'm perceiving that I'm youthful, I'm young, and I'm vital, and I'm full of energy,
See
and that
there?
I'm kind,
See
right?
there?
Kind,
See there?
loving, but with boundary. Whoop up, militant. You better come take advantage of the kindness and the lovingness because Jamaica
See,
I come from. So I have to chop it off at a certain point, right?
agreed.
These kind of things. To become me authentically in this fingerprint that nothing else could replicate because that's what we ought to all be. So
I
then when we meet up, we complement each other that way better, by the
true.
way.
I love it. I love the story. So there are women who may be listening who think, ah, Subhadra, you're an inspiration, but I'm way too old right now and it's too late for me. What do you
Mhm.
say to them?
I would say first thing is again, go back to the power of speech. We'll go back to what we just talked about. Stop saying that. First thing I would say, stop saying it.
Yeah.
And then start remembering what you were as a child. I say,
Mm,
go back to your childhood. I know that in our childhood, we have some serious bumps along the way,
yeah.
but when we look at the bumps, we can carve out new pathways.
Mm,
And if you don't want to go back and look, then you're going to miss the opportunity to say, what do I desire to be today that I probably has forgotten about? And let's say you don't want to do the memory lane thing. Then what you want to do is the present thing, because right then and there, you can determine in yourself to say, I am, and then be very mindful of what you're going to put back after that,
mm.
right? So mine is, I'm prosperous.
Yes.
And you know, have to ask if I'm prosperous. Look where God put me. Water everywhere.
I
Yeah,
know.
right?
Look at
Because
that.
prosperity is not just money, dollars.
But the water represents prosperity in a big
And
way.
yeah, me have to run money too. Me not lie. Money have to
True.
run,
True.
right? It's not gonna fix itself. And
Yeah.
many things can't come with that. You be given when you're bestowed upon, you have to then act upon, right? And so I say to that person, act upon your new way. You're not too old. You're only as old as you desire to say you're old. Get up and do something different, something vital. Exercise, breathe consciously, speak kindly. Of course, you still have your boundaries. Love yourself. Love yourself. Look in the mirror and tell yourself, oh, gorgeous girl or man, look at you today. And even if it feels like a gap in the beginning, because it should, because you're not there yet. There's a journey is about to happen. But what you're doing is you're planting that seed. And that seed, you don't go back there and say, oh, is it under there and dig it up? You don't do that. What you do is you keep watering it, right? We know I plant, I do gardening, and I know what that process is. So you got to garden your life. You got to become your own mommy, your own daddy. What did you want them to say to you that they didn't say before? Say that to yourself. Forget the blame, the shame, and all of this. I'm too old. No, get up and go do something different. And make sure when you rise up in the morning, say thank you. Thank you for life. And then tell life what you want to show. Today, big day for me. Huge day. I'm about to flip some things, right? So I can see my event is what? My opening day is 19 days out by tomorrow. So 20 days out. You know what I'm about to do? I got to
Huge.
get steadfast and you give thanks. You give thanks and do something. I say that's all excuses. Get out of the excuses and step into your power.
Dear, you don't want anything more than that. And with that mic drop moment, tell us where people can get in touch to learn about your book and your YAA
Okay.
Wellness Center and the whole 9 yards.
Okay, just Yoga Angels International is on YouTube, right? Yoga Angels International, that's us. And then after that, IG Yoga Angels INTL, a little abbreviation there. So you on email info@yogaangels.com. So just Yoga Angels, Yoga Angels. And also the book is on Amazon. It's called Strip to the Naked Truth. Can you find that on Yoga Angels? Yeah, absolutely. And you can go to striptothenakedtruth.com and the link will take you to Amazon. That's the easiest way. So striptothenakedtruth.com and enjoy the read and let me know. Let me know what you think and anything in the stories that may, resonate. And especially in the back of the book, the
Oh my
practices.
God, I can't wait to check it out.
Yeah.
And I would love to have you back to discuss. Subhadra, it has been such an incredible opportunity, an incredible meeting of hearts. It's been a while since we connected, and I'm
Yeah.
so grateful that you brought your fire as usual and you delivered, and it's so special. You brought your
Thank you.
medicines, you brought your
Thank
joy.
you.
And
Thank you.
it's just a special thing when we connect, and I'm so grateful that you've taking the time because I know it's busy leading into your opening for you to be here to share. And I know that lots of people are gonna resonate and just feel a sense of connection with you and want
Hope
to know
so.
more.
I hope so. And even if it's one person it resonate with, remember you're a superstar, conscious superstar. You really come from the galaxies, you know? Be that. Don't just show up in the world half-assedly. Show up full. Why not?
Yeah.
It's not gonna be easy always, but just show up. Yeah. And the
Love it.
community, by the way, if you ever feel out of place, Yoga Angels International in Jamaica, get on the plane and come. We have ocean view. Come and lay on the ocean and tell the universe what you desire. God is on the line, man, all the time.
Oh, that's
Just
so
say what you
lovely.
want. Yeah,
It's so
say what you
lovely.
want. Yeah.
Well, you heard it from her, right? She's giving you an open invitation to go and check out Yoga Angels International Wellness Center
Wellness Oasis.
in
Yeah.
St. Thomas, Jamaica. And we're going to put the links in the description down below so you can go check her out. So,
And
to
maybe you put
watching,
something like Lorna and we give you a nice, you know.
you just
Or
call
yeah.
Lorna's name and you get a little hookup there. So, thank you
We
so
not do
much,
look, we not do
Subhadra.
little
You
hook up
are
Lana.
just
We
such a
do big
star. You're a
big
star.
hook up Lana. We give you the
See
big hook up when you say Lana,
See
big
there?
hook up. Yeah, man.
See
That's to
there.
be representative of your energy because you're a force. We know that. That's why you're here, even what would you say, saying to me of what of a force I am. It's because you recognize yourself.
I receive that, my sister. I receive that, and I thank you with my whole heart. You're just so special to me.
Thank you.
So thank you again, and to you watching. If today's conversation spoke in any way to your spirit, just take it as a sign that what's over can be the beginning of what's next. You heard from Subhadra that your dreams don't have an expiration date and that you are indeed very, very special. You've come with something special to bring to the world. And sometimes the life that you've been dreaming about is waiting for you on the other side of the chapter that you never expected. So this is your invitation. It's an invitation to you to rise, to rebuild, and to rediscover who you are beneath your old identity. Thank you for joining us today. Share this with a sister who could use some inspiration, some motivation, and encouragement. And we'll see you on the next one. Bye-bye for now. Bye-bye for now. Thank you so much. Bye for now.